Hi, my name is Jacob Williams, and I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story. The story I want to share with you, it's not just any story; it is my story, and it's something that is close to my heart. Um, it's not just about religion or going to church. This is a story about transformation, healing, and the real personal love of Jesus Christ, and how that love literally changed my marriage, changed my family, and brought me back to life. So I grew up believing in God. I knew about Jesus. I accepted him into my heart at a young age, probably around the age of 6 or 7. Um, I believed that he had died for my sins. I believed that he rose again and that he conquered sin and death. But if I'm being honest, for many years I did not follow him. I did not take the intentional steps of surrendering my life to Jesus. Um, I didn't trust him with my life. I wanted to do things my way, not his way, to chase the things that I thought would make me happy without the restraints of fully committing to God. I wanted to change the things of this world that I thought made me happy. From the outside, it probably didn't look too bad, but the inside, I was drifting. My marriage was growing cold. Um, yeah, I was present in my kids' life, but I wasn't truly there. I wasn't leading my family spiritually. I wasn't the man God called me to be. And to be honest, I didn't even realize how far I'd fallen because I had already fallen to the things of this world. The truth is, I was selfish. I made decisions based on what I wanted, not what was best for the people that I loved. And over time, it started to show in our finances, in our home, in our hearts. We were stressed. We were struggling, and I was completely numb on the inside. But God, he did not give up on me. In fact, he pursued me through the person that has never left my side, through the person that has always been there for me, that has always encouraged me, and that is my wife, Ashley. Ashley was my rock during those years. Even when I did not deserve it, she kept praying for me. She kept holding on for something much better. She was essentially holding on to God's hand in one of her hands and holding on to mine in the other. She was literally keeping me connected to God through her constant efforts of trying to pull me back to him. If you've ever had somebody that loved you so persistently, you know that it is a very, very powerful thing. Then about 3 years ago, everything changed. My wife, she knew exactly what I needed. There was a men's retreat that came up. This was shortly after we moved to Colorado. I was still in a state of, I want the worldly pleasures. And she knew that I needed to go to this men's retreat, but I did not want to be surrounded by these people. These people that I have seen throughout my life. I've seen a bunch of judgment coming from Christians in the past, and much like some other people, it ruined it for me. But she was persistent. She had just had liver resection surgery. She had just had at the time, our 6th child. She had every excuse for me not to go, for me to be able to stay there with her, to take care of her. Every single excuse in the book she had. And I was giving every excuse not to go. So, you would think that it would work in my favor, but it did not. She knew that I needed something big to rattle me. And so I went to this men's retreat, sort of unwillingly, just a weekend away. I didn't expect anything big, but God had other plans. God had moved in a huge way this weekend, through the messages and the stories from other men who were real, honest, and vulnerable. I saw myself clearly for the first time, and I broke. I remember like it was yesterday, calling Ashley in tears late one night after one of our services. I called her in tears and I was apologizing to her. I was telling her how, basically what a fool I have been. I had not been the leader of our marriage, of our family. I had not been the man that God had called me to be for so many years. I told her things were going to change, and for the first time, basically in my entire adult life, I was not lying about that. I was intentional about that. I meant it. That weekend marked the beginning of something brand new for me. One of the biggest shifts God led me through was in the area of our finances. I have always been very selfish with what is mine. Even with my kids, no, that's not yours, that's mine. Almost acting like a child. And specifically with my finances, with tithing, I found it very difficult to give over to God what was already His in the first place. I would not tithe. We were already struggling. We were on government assistance. We were on this and that, and even through all of this, even through the first several months after I got this enlightening moment, I was like, we can't tithe. We can't afford it. Well, I had learned over a short period of time through, once again, Ashley, through watching other people live their spiritual life surrounded by God and surrounded by Jesus. I learned that how can you afford not to? And so this was a huge shift for me. The truth was, I didn't just want to let go. I did not want to trust that God would provide. But when I surrendered, not just emotionally, but practically, and we started tithing, something incredible happened. And let me be clear, it was not something instant. It took a little bit of time. It took some trust. It took a bit of learning to trust that God was already there and willing to work in everything that I was about to do. And to realize that what I had was already God's in the first place. God is able to take any amount of anything, and He's able to multiply that and do incredible things with it. When we first started to tithe, we almost instantly saw a change. We almost instantly felt some sort of relief. And we wholeheartedly believe that was God saying, well done, because you have given me this, because you have trusted me with this, I will provide you with this. And over time, we not only got in a comfortable place, but we actually started to thrive, I would say. It was definitely something that was not easily understood. Like, with what we were making, it did not make sense in our human brains that we were paying bills, that money was coming in. But God works miracles. God is bigger and so much better than everything around us. But even more than that financial provision, God gave me back my family. He restored my marriage. He started to soften my heart. He made me a better husband, a better father, and a man with a purpose. That's why I love the story of the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 32, where it talks about the father and his two sons. And the one son wanted to take his inheritance early and go blow it out in town. He wanted to live a life where he was able to live off the pleasures of the world, such as I did. I wanted to enjoy the pleasures of the world. And when when all that inheritance ran out, he came back home. Um, it wasn't long before the father saw him and ran to him and embraced him. And even through everything, the fattened cow that they had on their land, he ordered them to go and prepare this fattened cow for a feast for his son that had returned. The other son was upset because he had been faithful this entire time. And the thing is, for those that are faithful to God, they already have the kingdom of heaven. They already have that as their eternal future. So God is going to jump for joy whenever his children return to him. And that made so much sense to me, because that father is it's a parable. So that father is a symbol of God. God will not only embrace us, but he will run to us. He is jumping for joy that we are coming to him, that we are coming home. That story, that story was me. I was the prodigal son. I am the prodigal son. And, I'm sure many people can say that. We are the prodigal son. I walked away. I lived for myself. But when I turned back, God did not meet me with judgment. He ran to me and he welcomed me home. So now, let me bring this back to you. I know that you're figuring out life, your identity, your direction, your future. Maybe faith has been in the background for you. Maybe it's something you've wrestled with or felt unsure about. And I get that. I really do. But I want you to hear this. The good news, the gospel, isn't just a message for religious people. It is for people who are hurting, people who feel lost or unsure, people who know there has to be more to life than just getting by. That's where we were. We were just getting by in everything we were doing. Jesus isn't asking you to have it all together. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's just asking you to come home. Jesus died on the cross for us because he could not stand to be in heaven without us. I promise you, when you do come to him, he will be there waiting for you with open arms. He will be there running to you to embrace you. He will bring peace into your heart, your relationship, your future family, everything. He is the Prince of Peace. That's the life I live now. I am not perfect. I don't have a perfect life, but I have a perfect Father and a perfect Savior. That is more than enough for me. I live a joyous life because I know where I stand. I know where my future is. I know where the future of my family is. And God provides me with joy in the times of earthly turmoil. He points me back to him every time. He points me back to the blessings he's given me, and my wife and my children, all the things that she has sacrificed to make sure that I am cared for, that I know that I am loved by the Almighty God. So thank you again for listening. I love you both. And my prayer is that you would experience the same freedom, peace, and purpose that I found the day that I stopped running and came home to Jesus. Thank you so much, and God bless you.